Welcome back to another episode of After the License. I'm excited. We have my good friend Lauren McGaffin on. Welcome, Lauren.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. So occasionally on the After the License show, we do kind of these interviews. So bring on realtors and guests, and we kind of touch on why they got in the business and what they're doing in real estate and tips and tricks for new real estate agents. So Lauren and I have known each other as friends for quite some time, a really long time. And so I'm excited to bring her on the show because I think she does a lot of things really well, especially around social media and kind of tapping into her database and her sphere of influence. So Lauren, let's just start there. How long have you been in real estate and what made you want to get into it?
So I've been in real estate a little over 7 years. I got into real estate right out of college. I went to ASU and got a degree in sociology and had no idea really what I wanted to do after school, but I've always had a passion for interior design and stuff like that. My dad is an architect, so I feel like it could be in my blood a little bit, but yeah, so my first degree that I actually was trying to go for in college, I was initially going to be an interior designer, and then I was like, no. And then luckily I was led to real estate right out of college. I was 22 or 23. So
I love it. I just going straight from college to the real estate business. Like was there anything in particular that drew you to it? Was it kind of owning your own business or just the interior design aspect of it?
Yeah. And a big part of it was also, I knew that I wanted to have kids someday. And so I wanted to be able to kind of still be at home with them and then kind of create my own time frame and stuff like that. So that definitely was a big part of it, was the flexibility and stuff like that.
I think that's a big draw for a lot of people who thinking about getting their real estate license or get into it, is they want the flexibility, right? They want to be able to kind of do their own thing and run their own business and, do things on their own terms. And real estate gives a good avenue for people to kind of start their own business for, it's not
definitely
cheap to get started, but it's fairly cheap compared to some other things, right? But so I love that. I think that's great. So let's touch on your business today and where do a lot of your sales come from in 2021? Where do those come from? Do you have a specific lead source that you have? What does that look like?
So right now, I've been really fortunate. A lot of my friends and family have been in the market, so they've been so good to me. But also I get a lot of my business from referrals and then also just through social media, mostly just from posting a bunch of stories on my Instagram and Facebook, really.
I love it. So one of the reasons I wanted to have Lauren on is because she, in my opinion, we're friends, but I've followed her for quite some time. She, in my opinion, does a fantastic job on the social media side of it and kind of touching on real estate and kind of bringing real estate into her personal life, right? So she not only posts on Instagram like a normal person would, but she also kind of incorporates real estate in a really great manner. And I think that's really led to, correct me if I'm wrong, but a majority of your business over the last 7 years has been family, friends, repeat, and referral business, right? You haven't gone out and tried to do a bunch of other lead gen, right?
No, not really. I have two separate accounts on my Instagram. We kind of spoke about that earlier. I have a business page, and then I also have just my main page. I think sometimes if you throw too much in one area over and over and over again, it kind of pushes people away rather than bring them in. So I try and mix it up a little bit and not so, business. I want them to also get a feel of who I am and what I bring besides the real estate aspect.
Yeah, and I think that's so smart. So often new agents have questions and they say, should I do a personal page or should I do a business page? And what should I post on both, right? So maybe let's just run through it. So your personal page, you're posting stuff about your life, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And would you say that's 80-90% of what you post?
Yeah, and then occasionally I will post like what I'm doing that day for real estate. If I remember, I post if I have anything coming soon or anything like that. And I just mix it in with my personal stuff, what's going on in the day and my crazy kids.
I love that. And then and some of that you're sharing from your business page, correct? Or your business
Correct.
Instagram?
Correct.
So you can kind of post something to your business Instagram, and then you kind of share it in kind of a casual reminder that you're in real estate and this is what you do for a living, correct?
Yes. And I also have on my business page and my personal page, most of my personal page is people that I know, that it's mostly my sphere of influence. Like really, I keep that pretty close and private. And then my business page is a lot of times people I have no idea who they are. So then they can kind of refer me to people that they might know. So it kind of gave me more opportunities to meet people and stay connected with two separate groups of people, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense, right? Is typically your personal page, you're connected with family and friends, and there might be the occasional person that follows you, but then you have a business page where, it's attracting a larger audience, but you're kind of finding a way to kind of mix and mingle the two. So I think that's really smart. Can you touch on, with your business side of it, what are you posting, and maybe touch on like the List It with Lauren stuff and some of the things you were doing with kind of reaching out to agents and posting their listings? I think that's really smart.
Yeah. So when I first started, I was like, I want to do something that's not like your regular agent. Like I've always wanted to kind of do something that stood out. So I kind of made like a cheesy logo with like a house. And then I made up a name. I was listed with Lauren at the time. And I was like, you know what, I have nothing to lose at this point. Like, let's just see what happens. And I'm kind of the type of person where I see how others react to things. So I try something, and depending on the reaction, I either keep with it or not. But basically on Facebook, I started doing every single Monday, I would post a Lauren's Loving, which is cheesy, but I tried it. And so, at first it was amazing. Like what it was is I would contact, at the time I had no listings because I was just starting out. And so I really didn't have a lot of stuff to share on my main page. So I reached out to agents that had, homes and listings for sale that weren't just regular homes. Like I picked houses that were furnished. I made sure that they were like in style and that it was something that people would want to buy, not just a regular home that you see on the MLS. Like I wanted it to really catch people's attention. So I would reach out to these other agents and say, hey, would you care if I posted this on my page? I have a lot of people that respond really well to these kind of homes. Like I might be able to find you a buyer that would be interested. And sometimes they would say yes, and sometimes they would say no. And I'd be like, okay, like, it's fine. Your loss, I guess. But a lot of the times, majority of the times, they would say yes. And so I would post it, and then I would get a ton of feedback, a ton. So that was something that definitely got me going.
So I want to touch on why I think that's really smart, and why, because I've seen the photos and saw the properties that you posted. And for new agents listening, so what Lauren did, as she mentioned, is she's finding homes that just aren't any old home for sale in the market. They were homes that had beautiful kitchens or beautiful bathrooms. They had a certain style about it, right? And I think a lot of the reason why you have some of the followers you have is because they like your style, right? You like your style and they like your style, and it's kind of this up and coming, as you mentioned, kind of interior design. And so I think that was really smart on your part. It's even if you post luxury homes that a majority of your database or sphere of influence isn't going to purchase, they're still seeing that you're in real estate, right? And I think that's a great lesson for new agents is we just need to subtly remind people we're in real estate without being too salesy, without being too pushy, and posting beautiful homes that have beautiful kitchens and beautiful bathrooms that have a great style about it, I think is a really smart way to go about it, right? And so correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the comments and stuff you got on those, they weren't necessarily people ready to buy that, but they liked the style of it. And
and I mean, they always ask like, where is this? What area of town is this? How did you find this? Like, and that's what got me talking to people. And that's what kind of like, are you looking? Are you not? And then I kind of would reach back out to them. I would kind of keep track. Like, so that definitely got me talking with other people that I normally wouldn't speak to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. So,
Yeah.
kudos to you on your social media strategy.
Thanks.
I think it's super smart, and I think it's a big reason why a lot of your businesses come from your database and your sphere of influence is because it's folks that are watching you and they like your style, and you're kind of subtly reminding them that you're in real estate. So I think that was really smart.
Well,
So
yeah, and also like at the beginning when I first started, I was 22 years old, and basically my sphere of influence, none of my friends were ready to buy a house. They all just were graduating college and stuff like that. And so I had to get creative, and I had to kind of, I don't know, I kind of tried to get creative in a way that not other realtors were marketing themselves so that I was able to stand out. So, yeah.
Well, and again, I'll touch on it. So I think what's really smart about that is I've touched a lot on some previous videos and podcast episodes. Like, you have to find ways to remind people you're in real estate without being too salesy, and that's what you did. And I would bet you some of those people looking at those Lauren Lovings maybe thought they were your listings, right? You didn't, but they're not. But
they're not.
they're seeing, hey, Lauren's in real estate. She's looking at these homes. Look at these beautiful photos. Like, you're making a name for yourself. You're associating your name with real estate by just doing something simple like reaching out to the agent and reposting the photos. So I think that's really great.
Yeah, thanks.
So do you have anything in particular that you do now to kind of reach out to your database, your sphere of influence, or past clients? Like, are you staying in touch with them in any kind of routine or segmented manner?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of reach out to them from time to time, but most of the time, since I'm so active on my stories and stuff, they kind of talk to me and I just talk back to them. And that's mostly where we have our communications going. I used to do all of those, like, I went door knocking right when I started. That did not work out very well for me. And then another thing that I did was, I just held some open homes, like open houses. I did a few of those, and that kind of boosted my confidence too. So definitely hold open houses for agents who don't want to do it, because a lot of agents don't want to hold open houses and are begging people just to hold their houses open for them. So
yeah, let's touch on that a little bit. So, how was that kind of a confidence booster for you? Was it just kind of having those real estate related conversations?
Yeah. So at first, when I first started, I got into a brokerage, which was Coldwell Banker, and I made sure to have a mentorship with them. I wanted to be able to follow somebody and see exactly how they talk to people, what kind of strategies are they doing, what works, what didn't work for them. And I actually asked my mentor, I was like, hey, do you care if I sit in open house with you? Like, I'll just sit in the background and kind of watch you and see what you do. And she was like, okay, fine, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay. And so she's like, I've never had any of my mentors ask me that. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I learned by seeing and doing things rather than just reading something. So I went and sat in open house with her, and I just watched how she did it. And so then I asked some agents who had some listings, and I said, hey, would you care if I held an open house? And so they were like, go ahead. So I went and held their open houses, and it gave me way more confidence because I was actually in front of people rather than behind my phone or online. It got me talking to people, and it gave me that confidence that I needed, because at the beginning I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Again, it kind of goes back to like having those real estate related conversations. If you can put yourself in a situation, especially as a new agent, to have those conversations and talk with people, and there's a good chance those people aren't actually going to buy that house, but they might be interested in buying something else, and it just helps you kind of start to spur up those, being able to answer questions from people, I think, is a big fear of some folks. So if you can do those open houses, you can kind of get over that fear a little bit.
Yes. It's more for yourself, I feel like, at the beginning than it is you trying to sell that house. I think that it's more of getting you comfortable with what you're doing, because you're not comfortable at the beginning. Nobody's comfortable doing anything at the very beginning, no matter what job you're in. So you got to get comfortable somehow. And that helped me a lot.
Totally agree. So let's touch on, so when you first started out, you had a mentor that was helpful. Was there anything else when you first started out that you felt was helpful for you? Like the mentor, the open houses, anything else?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. I attended all the classes that my broker offered me. That was huge. And then I also, something that I wish I would have done more of was, by having my mentor, I was able to figure out what inspection companies she would recommend, what blenders she would recommend, things that you don't learn in real estate classes. So that definitely helped me a lot because I was learning things that you obviously don't learn in real estate school.
Yeah. With that mentorship program, how did that work at that brokerage? Was it they kind of mentored you for the first couple deals, or how did that work?
Yeah, so it was the first couple deals that I did. She would just get a percentage of what I sold. And then kind of when I felt like I was ready to be on my own, I changed to HomeSmart.
Excellent. And so for new agents watching it, I think that's a big piece too. So often we get into real estate and we join a brokerage. Well, one thing you might want to look for at a new brokerage is, do they have a mentorship program? Because if you don't have a mentor or you're not a part of a team, so that was the route I went. I was a part of a team where you kind of have a built-in mentor. If you don't have that, it can be really tough and you can feel really alone, right? That mentor, I'm sure, was kind of by your side and was able to kind of help guide you, not only through being a lender, but like walking through the contract first couple times and all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah. Because also, like, you don't learn the contract. I mean, you learn the contract in classes, but you also don't learn how to get creative on the contract, how to make your contract stand out compared to somebody else's. You don't learn those behind the scenes things. And so I feel like a mentorship or a team, you can you learn the things that you wouldn't in the class.
Yeah. And it's not to say if you went on your own, you couldn't learn those things, but it might be a tougher or a longer.
It might take you longer.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many groups now. You see these poor new agents, they just have no guidance. And it's a lot of times because they don't have someone they can look to. So if you're new and you want to hit the ground running, think about a team, think about a mentorship or a coaching program or something. It doesn't mean you have to pay a ton for it. A lot of times, like most mentorships programs these days, it's a percentage of your first 2 or 3 deals, and that'll be worth it so many times over in the long run. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I had in here for you is, what do you wish you would have done differently over the years? Is there anything that in your last 7 years you wish you would have done differently?
The only thing is that I wish I stuck with social media more. I kind of let the Lauren's loving thing go. I had 2 kids, so I kind of I had to let that go for a little bit because that was a little time consuming. So that's something I wish I would have continued doing further down the road. So.
Yeah, and you're not alone with that, right? So a lot of people, that's their thing, right? We struggle with that as real estate agents across the board, whether it's working a farm area or cold calling or door knocking. We pick these kind of marketing avenues and they work for a little bit and then we kind of let them slide. And so that's good. I think social media and just kind of building your brand. You've built a brand now, even without being consistent with the Lauren's loving thing. So I think that's fantastic. Right. You kind of did it anyways, but you feel like if you had stuck with the Lauren's loving thing, it would have been even bigger.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah. I wouldn't have, it almost felt like I took a little bit of a break not doing it. So it didn't feel right to stop doing that. And I'll probably bring it back, but we'll see.
Yeah. I love that. Any advice you have for agents starting out? I know we touched on some of it. So if you have anything else.
I also, there were some things, some resources that I used. I use a website called WiseStamp. It's a business logo and a business generator for your signature on your email. That's insanely important. I think if you can get creative in your emails, I mean, that's easy. That's something you can just, and then you can link all your social media and stuff like that all in your signature, which is awesome. And that's just like a fee. I think I do the yearly fee for that, but I think you can do month to month. And then also I use Canva. I use that for a lot of my social media posts. I just found out about that until recently. I wish I would have found out earlier. But yeah, that's great. That's also, I pay that yearly as well. And then to get a good website, that's something that I'm now just starting to work on. I've had like the generated websites through my broker for a long time. And so now I'm kind of like, I want to do something by myself and kind of get creative by myself and see how that turns out. So that's currently what I'm working on and should be done hopefully in a week.
That's great. That's great. So let's touch on each one of those. I think there's so the Y stamp thing, your email signature is like free. It's free real estate, right? Think about how many emails you get and how many emails you send. And so having that there, you have like your social media link there and a website, your photo.
Yeah. So even like, I think I purchased something online one time and I had to message the customer service. Like, it could have been like Urban Outfitters or something. I don't even know. And so they were like, oh, you're like, I didn't think it was very professional on their part, but I'll take it. They basically were like, oh, you're in real estate in Arizona. Like I'm looking to move, whatever. And I was like, okay. So it's basically, it just gets people's attention.
Yeah. So one tip I've heard with that too is like having your photo there is big so people can see your face and, people respond to faces and other people's, image. And so having, especially if you have social media, sometimes having the same image as your like profile picture as what's in that email is so powerful. So that's great. And so you just discovered Canva, huh? Canva's like been my favorite thing for like 3 years. I should have told
you. Oh my God, 3 years?
Yeah.
I just found that out.
For those who don't use Canva, so Canva's got a free version. They also have a pro paid version, so you get like a few more extra features, but it's a simple to use kind of image editor. So, and they also have a ton of templates. So it sounds like, Lauren, you use it for like social media posts. Like you go in and find one of their templates, and is that kind of what you use it for?
Yes, I use it mostly for that. You can they have templates for your stories and also Instagram posts. And then you can also like create your own logos and stuff on there. It's awesome.
And even for something as simple as adding your logo. So in real estate, we have to like add sometimes our brokerage logo or we want to add our personal brand. Like I've uploaded listing photos and just quickly put my logo on there or like a little watermark. Like there's some stuff in there like really easy to do. And I think most people can get away with the free version, it's And then, there's the pro version. You get some extra little stickers and whatnot and some extra templates, which is nice. But I think that's great. So what was the third thing that you recommended?
A website. I use Squarespace, but a website, definitely.
So one thing I'll give you kudos on is I Googled your name. So I like to Google the guest names. Yes.
Okay.
But no, it's good. So your website popped up on the first page. And so I think that's...
Is it my old one?
It's laurenmcgaffin.com. Is that still it?
Yes.
There you go. So one tip I've told new agents, and I really like this, I stole it from someone, is like Google yourself and figure out what pops up. So for you, your website pops up, your Instagram pops up, your Facebook page, but that means you have good branding and you have your name associated with all those. But a website...
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. But a website's a great way, like having your name, so laurenmcgaffin.com is a great way to you can kind of hack Google that way. It doesn't always happen. If you have like a really common name like Tim Smith, there's probably going to be some other Tim Smiths out there, but having your, buying laurenmcgaffin.com and putting a website out there, you can kind of ensure that most likely you're going to kind of appear there on the first page. So when people Google you, they see that you're in real estate. So I think that's great.
Well, something that's funny is I got my website name from GoDaddy, and it used to be listed with lauren.com.
Okay.
And I didn't renew it in time. And so someone bought it. And then I went back and it was like, okay, $3,000 to claim your domain. I'm like, okay, no. So make sure you are on auto renewal because someone will take your name. Okay.
So they were just, oh my goodness. Yeah. That's a great lesson.
Yeah. I'm like $3,000. I'm like, well, I hope they're happy about that because I'm not paying $3,000. I'll just use my name now. So Congratulations.
That's good. That's a good lesson. That's a good lesson. If you buy a domain and you build it out, you want to make sure you renew that thing because they take them up quick. I know. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Was there anything in these questions? I haven't been looking at these questions. But is there anything?
I didn't either. We just went off on our own, Jeff.
I know. I hope that's okay.
Yeah.
We touched a little bit on social media and kind of your approach to it. Was there anything else that we missed in terms of growing your social media that we didn't touch on?
Not so much growing. I did want to say something that I didn't know about when I first started real estate is that when you're trying to figure out a broker to find, it's mostly about you asking the broker the right questions. And I think we touched on that a little bit. They want you. So they're ultimately sitting there basically begging for you to come join their team. So it's kind of in a reverse position as you would be in a different field. You are basically interviewing them and getting them to give you, I don't know the right ways to put that, but you want to make sure you're asking the brokers the right questions so that you ultimately pick the right broker that's best for you.
Yeah, it's not a job interview, and that's a great point, right? So many people get into real estate and they're like, I hope this person likes me, I hope they decide to hire me, and it's the opposite. It's you're a business and you're kind of deciding to partner with another business, and you need to make sure it's the right fit. You need to ask questions about, how much they charge and what are they going to provide you? Do they have a mentor program? Like brokerages come in all shapes and sizes. So I think that's a great piece of advice. Did that kind of throw you off when you first got into real estate?
Yes. I went into the interview. I'm like, she is doing all the talking. I'm so confused. Why is she just going off? And I'm sitting here and she's like, do you have any more questions? I'm like, no, what do you mean? So I was so confused. And then once I started doing it, I was like, okay, this is now, and that's also what I want to say is I think it's so great what you're doing because I didn't have this when I first started in real estate. I YouTube stuff, but I didn't have anywhere to go to figure that stuff out. I kind of had to figure those types of things out on my own. And so I think what you're doing is fantastic. And I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I agree with you. I think there's resources for specifically new agents. And, we go through these and how many square feet in an acre, but that's about it, right? And then it's about selling real estate and all that fun stuff. So I appreciate you saying that. Means a lot. So awesome. Anything else that I missed that you wanted to touch on? We're coming up here at 30 minutes.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I think I covered it all.
Well, I really appreciate you being on here. For those of you guys listening, I'll put Lauren's social media handles and links in the YouTube description. I'll put them in the podcast description as well. So go follow Lauren and list it with Lauren. And we'll make sure to put your new website in there as well so people can check that out. Anything else that you want to promote or talk about? Anything like that?
No, I'm good. Come say hi on my Instagram.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me, Lauren. This was great, and I think people got a lot of value from it, so I appreciate it.
Of course.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you later. Of course.
Okay.